We know that the average person weighs about 190 pounds, but unfortunately, the rising epidemic of obesity has taken over the world. Many people struggle with extreme obesity, which is not healthy for the human body as it was not designed to expand that much. The expansion of a body size to what can sometimes be a 4-digit number has seriously tampered with the functionality of these people's everyday lives. For example, there's the 34-year-old Mexican Juan Franco Pedro, who is said to be the biggest living man in the world. He is just short of 1,300 pounds. For reference, that's like combining 8 hefty men all together. Juan Franco Pedro, like 1 in every 3 Mexicans, was born overweight at about 7.7 pounds. Every year from his birth, he gained an extra 22 pounds. This meant that by the time he was 6 years old, he was weighing a massive 154 pounds. His parents admitted to feeding him high-calorie and sugar foods, which happened to be the norm in Mexico. He was really obese, but he could still lead a relatively normal life. Well, that is up until he was 17 years old, when he had an accident that rendered him immobile. After this, he just continued to expand rapidly, and this led to an increase in blood pressure and diabetes. The major cause of his problem was, however, attributed to his underactive thyroid gland. This means he lacks enough thyroid hormones to convert his food into energy, so instead they store up as fat. This, of course, was not helped by the fact that he was constantly consuming calorie-dense foods. His daily life before the surgery. By the time he noticed how unhelpful his situation was, it was already too late. He couldn't go out and exercise and, in fact, he had been bedridden for more than 7 years. Juan couldn't sit, walk, or do anything without assistance. He spent most of his days repairing little things like remotes while reminiscing about the days where he could dance and move around. Juan's main hobby is playing the guitar, and he has always dreamed of becoming a renowned guitarist. Connected to his bed are iron pillars at all 4 corners, plus flexible support that he uses to pull himself up when he has to eat or get cleaned up. He also has an adjustable table surface that's attached to his bed for eating and storing stuff. Due to his size, Juan finds it difficult to breathe, and as such, he must always have an oxygen pipe around him every day. As such, nurses attach sockets to the head of his bed where they could plug in all the necessary equipment to keep him safe. Juan is constantly watched over by his mother, Maria Pedro Franco, who has dedicated her life to totally taking care of him, doing the dishes, laundry, cooking, etc. According to her, she does this with no regrets in her heart. In his quest for surgery. When he was termed the world's heaviest man in 2017, Juan Pedro sought help. He seriously wanted to reduce his weight and get his life back. Juan realized that he needed to lose a lot of weight as it was proving to be a big threat to his health and his life. But the doctors told him that at his current weight, he was unfit to undergo surgery, and so he had to start eating healthy Mediterranean food and undergo therapy for 3 months. Juan was lucky enough to lose about 375 pounds. He still weighed as much as a grand piano, but he was fit enough to undergo surgery. He then arranged with Dr. Jose Antonio Castaneda to undergo a sleeve gastrostomy surgery, where he reduced his stomach size by 80%. A couple of months later, he underwent another gastric bypass surgery, where the doctors removed another huge part of his stomach to reduce his eating capacity. These 2 surgeries helped Juan lose 500 pounds in 18 months. That is huge progress. One of the many challenges that faced them during the surgery process was the difficulty in transporting Juan from one destination to another, especially getting him into the hospital. It was so bad that hospital staff had to construct a metal Zimmer frame especially for Juan to enable him to walk into the hospital. At a certain point, they had to pull him into the hospital bed, and it took 13 medical staff to do that. However, the doctors say Juan made the process a lot easier for them by his attitude and willingness to comply with instructions. All surgeries were successful, and now Juan is free from the risk of heart failure, hypertension, and diabetes that were all accompanied by his obesity. Post-surgery. After losing a massive weight of about 52 stones, Juan is now able to walk using a cane. He can even take a trip around the park without carrying his oxygen bag around like he used to. Juan can now also perform some minutes of exercise such as lifting small weights and doing 20 squats per day while pursuing his passion of becoming an accomplished guitarist. According to him, it feels great to be able to move more and be more self-sufficient. Just before we leave you, here's a small bit of knowledge about the life of the once fattest woman in the world and her incredible journey to health. Did you know? Mayra Rosales, one of the world's biggest women in the late 2000s, weighed 1,036 pounds. In 2007, she was famous not only for her body size, but the alleged killing of her sister's son. She claims to have rolled over and accidentally suffocated him. The doctors confirmed her nephew died from blood force trauma, which was caused by her nephew's mother, which was Mayra's sister. Even so, Mayra was desperate to seek surgery to lose her weight. In her bid to take custody of her sister's children, Mayra dedicated her everyday life to dieting and therapy. She also underwent a total of 11 surgeries to remove all of her excess skin. Mayra's weight loss was as dramatic as it was surprising. She reduced from 1,036 pounds to just 200. That's incredible. And with that, we've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notifications. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.